They mailed me a lien notice on a Tuesday, threatening to take my house over a pool fence that was 3 inches too tall. My name is Katie, and I never imagined a piece of vinyl fencing could nearly cost me everything I owned. By the time this story ends, the woman who tried to destroy me is the one facing handcuffs, not me. Rewind 6 months, to the quiet cul-de-sac in Peachtree Village where I thought I'd finally found my forever home. I'm a single mom, an ER nurse working double shifts, and that backyard pool was the one thing keeping my kids happy. Our HOA president, Deborah Whitfield, ran the neighborhood like her personal kingdom, clipboard in hand, smile sharp as a blade. She welcomed me with a fruit basket and a warning. "We take our covenants very seriously here, sweetheart." I laughed it off then, thinking she was just another overzealous volunteer nobody could possibly take too seriously. 2 weeks later, I got my first violation letter. Grass allegedly 2 inches too long, $50 fine attached. I mowed that lawn myself every Saturday, so I photographed everything, dated every picture, saved every letter she sent. Something told me to keep records, a nurse's instinct for documentation that would later save my entire life. The fines kept coming: mailbox color, a unauthorized wind chime, even my daughter's chalk drawings on the driveway. Then came the pool fence violation, claiming my code-compliant safety fence violated some obscure aesthetic guideline nobody enforced. I checked county records that night and found my fence exceeded state safety code, exactly as required by law. Deborah didn't care about codes. She cared about control, and I later learned she'd bulldozed 3 other families before me. My neighbor Frank whispered over the fence, "She did this to the Rodriguez family. They moved out crying." That's when I noticed something odd. Deborah's own backyard had a pool with no fence permit filed anywhere. Twist 1. The woman citing me for fence violations was operating an illegal, unpermitted pool of her own. I filed a public records request, hands shaking, wondering if I just poured gasoline on a fire. 2 days later, Deborah slapped me with a $5,000 fine and a 30-day deadline before lien filing. I tried reasoning with the board at the next meeting, but she cut my microphone off mid-sentence, literally. "Rules are rules, Katie," she said, smirking, while 3 board members stared silently at their folded hands. I discovered the board members were terrified of her. She'd threaten their own fines if they disagreed publicly. That night, I hired a real estate attorney, Marcus Chun, who read my file and simply said, "Oh, she's finished." Twist 2. Marcus recognized her name instantly. Deborah had been sued in 2 other states for the exact same scheme. She wasn't just a control freak. She was running a documented pattern of predatory lien and fine extraction for profit. Marcus pulled HOA financial disclosures and found fine revenue routing through an account only Deborah could access alone. One quiet moment of levity. My son asked if we could sue the HOA for being mean to mommy's fence. I almost laughed for the first time in weeks. Kids see justice so much simpler than lawyers do. The lien got filed anyway. Deborah wanted my house on the county auction block within 60 days. No mercy. I stopped sleeping, eating cereal at 2 a.m., staring at foreclosure paperwork spread across my kitchen table. Then Marcus called, "Katie, we're not just defending you anymore. We're countersuing for HOA fraud and abuse of authority." We filed with the state attorney general, attaching Deborah's unpermitted pool, her fine records, and testimony from 4 other victims. Twist 3. The board Deborah controlled had never legally certified its last 2 elections. Her presidency was invalid. Every fine, every lien, every threat she'd made in that illegitimate role was now legally void from the start. The courtroom day arrived, Deborah in a pressed blazer, still confident, still smirking like she owned the room. Her lawyer tried arguing technicalities, but Marcus laid out the illegal election, the fraud, the pattern of victims. The judge reviewed the evidence, silent for a long moment, then looked directly at Deborah with cold disapproval. "This lien is void, the fines are void, and frankly, Ms. Whitfield, you're lucky this stays civil court." She ordered the HOA to drop every charge, remove the lien immediately, and pay my full legal fees. Then came the real gut punch. The judge referred Deborah's financial records to the district attorney for embezzlement review. Deborah's face went white as the courtroom murmured, The queen of Peachtree Village had finally lost her throne. Weeks later, she was removed from the board permanently, banned from HOA leadership statewide, facing felony fraud charges. I stood in my backyard that evening, watching my kids swim behind that same legal, code-compliant pool fence. Justice doesn't always come fast, but when it comes for a Karen like Deborah, it comes complete.